Welcome friends, I have Gregory from Uprising 144K YouTube channel, Hydrogen Man.
Yeah, so I have a YouTube channel called Uprising 144K if you guys want to check it out. And most of it is really dedicated to hydrogen and how you can use it to really improve your life as far as your health and all the science, because there's a ton of science about it. The world doesn't really know about it much. And as I've been talking with Santos, we really think that it's important that the world knows about it because how life-changing it is and the things that I've seen it do for people. But today, I'm here with Santos because Santos has been talking about hydrogen for how long now?
Yeah, at least a decade.
A long time. And I was really curious, like, so where did this first start? Where did you first start realizing that hydrogen was important?
Well, that's a good question. So, people that were on the health trail were using it for health,
Okay.
i.e. certain protocols like hydrogen peroxide, which I've tried. Also, I was very fortunate to meet a lot of people who were using hydrogen converters to run their cars.
Yes.
And I did a lot of research into hydrogen, and then of course with my syncretism and the periodic table, my interest in the periodic table, of which I've done a few nice presentations with my insights into the periodic table and how I see it, the elements, and how they interact with each other. It's quite incredible. The periodic table is just fascinating to me. And hydrogen, of course, is the number one
First element, right?
Element, yeah. So that's got to grab your attention, right? So
yes. And but is there anywhere like in the ancient writing, because you're like into astrology, and of course we're talking about hydrogen. I mean, the sun is made up of about 98%. It's almost all hydrogen, the sun. And is there anywhere in astrology that, or anywhere in your research that led you down? Because you were talking about hydrogen peroxide, and this is a good thing to share with the viewers. Hydrogen peroxide is actually an additional oxygen molecule, which is really weird because it's not actually more hydrogen. I don't know why they call it hydrogen peroxide, because it's, if anything, it's more oxygen than it is hydrogen. And it doesn't have the same benefits. Because one thing that we should probably explain to everybody is that polarity that we were talking about between H2 and O. So this is really beautiful. You look at water, and water is H2O, and it appears that O is oxygen, which is oxidation, which is really like a symbol of death. And in like with science, a lot of times that color is deemed red. You know, and it was interesting because you were talking about how the devil is always depicted as red, and how the devil is kind of death, you know. And then you look at H2, and H2 is hydrogen, and it actually appears to be life. It's the life-giving molecule, and it's depicted in blue here, of course, also. And you talk a lot about blue. Can you elaborate on the part between the red and the blue?
Oh,
You
yeah.
can share this?
Okay, so you just mentioned that hydrogen is blue, so I see that as blue shift.
Okay.
And then oxygen is red. So
Right.
it's on the acid side,
Yes.
hydrogen will be on the alkaline side. So it's very interesting to note that the alkaline spectrum,
Yes.
from 1 to 14, you've got your reds at 0, and then you've got your blues. So everything is like this in the material world, red shift, blue shift.
Yeah.
So when you bring these two elements together, hydrogen number 1 and oxygen number 8, and 8 is a very significant number. You know, you've got to look at the numbers, you've got to look at this geometrically, etymologically. That's what I do. And I don't look at it as one field. You know, see, where you're coming to hydrogen from is very, very science-based, it's technological, and that's good. It's all the numbers and the figures, all the I's and the T's, everything's dotted and
Yes.
crossed, right? So
Measure.
that's good. But when I look at hydrogen, for instance, I don't just see it that way. Like, I'll see it as, where is it hiding in our theologies? Where is it hiding in our alchemy? Where is water hiding in hydrogen in our astrology, right? So, and then you begin to see that it all goes back to that, right? So the question you said, when did I start thinking about hydrogen and taking it seriously? Well,
Or noticing it within the writings.
yeah. The Greeks said that the universe, there was one school that taught the universe was made by water. And then another school would argue against that, or probably not against that, but they would argue for air to be the main active element. Now, astrologically, I'd have to disagree with air. It would have to be water. It has to be. Because fire and water, plasma and gas, are... fire and water, plasma and... water, liquid. Sorry. Okay, so first of all, let me explain. Fire, air, earth, and water in astrology, in the Platonic speak, actually equates to plasma, gas, liquid, and solid, and they are the 4 states of matter. Okay, so you've got liquid matter, you've got solid, you've got the gas, and then back of that you've got plasma. And science acknowledges.
And can water be all those? Because water can be solid when it turns to ice. It can be a gas when it turns to steam. Obviously, it can be a liquid. I mean, can it play all these roles?
Yeah, it's a trinity. Like fire is a trinity. Everything's a trinity. Fire is always accompanied by 2 individual and separate things: warmth and light.
Okay.
So light is always associated with fire. Warmth is also always associated with fire. Right? So it's a trinity. Water is the same. Solid, liquid, and gas. So you see?
Yeah,
so these elements, they have, multiple facets, about them.
And hydrogen can be, by the way, a liquid if it's cold enough. Which is so like rockets, for example. Rockets can't make it to the heavens or to the cosmos without hydrogen. They use it as a fuel. And so